everybody. Today I want to talk to you about a method that I've been learning in school. It is called the intermediary method, and it is a whole new way to extract herbs into oils in a shortened time frame. So most of us are familiar with extracting oils by soaking them in an oil of our choice for anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, or 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the strength that you are looking for. Not either done by solar or done by just storage method. Solar method is where you stick it in the sun and shake it every day, and then after so long you take it out and you have extracted your plant properties into your oil. So that works great, but it's very, very time consuming. So I happened to run across this method that kind of like blew my mind. So I tried it not too long ago, and it worked absolutely fantastically, and it was able to give me the desired that I was looking for, and it also created a bit of a more potent oil for me. So I was like thrilled about it, so I decided I was going to show you guys a little bit about how to do this. So I already did the first half of it yesterday, because this process takes about 2 days. So I did the first half of it yesterday, so I'll explain how that works. So I made five different herbs here. I've got rosebuds, I've got calendula flower, I've got jasmine flower, I've got hibiscus, and then I have lavender here. So when you're doing the intermediary method, this method that I'm showing you today, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need a little bit of math. So you have to pull out a paper, pen, calculator, whatnots that you're going to need. Okay? The ratios that I want you to write down is 1 to 8. Okay? So for every 1 ounce of herb, or 1 part of herb, regardless of what size that is, whether it be ½ ounce or 1/4 ounce, whatever, grams, you can get as precise as you want depending on how much oil you're looking to make. So it's 1 to 8, so 1 part to 8 parts, 1 part herb to 8 part oil. Okay, so for my particular recipe and the extractions that I'm doing, I'm looking to make 4 ounces of oil, so I needed a ½ ounce of herb. So I've got a ½ ounce of each one of my herbs, and I simply took my herbs, bought myself one of these little doohickey grinder things that you get for like coffee, and they work amazing, by the way. And I measured out my ½ ounce of herbs, and I put them in here, and I ground them up, and I stuck them in my containers. Okay, this was to help chop up the herb a little bit, because you want to help break apart the herb so that the process of extraction is easier. So after you have your whatever part of herb into your cups, glasses, jars, whatever you want to call it, you're going to need to go ahead and grab some 190 proof alcohol. Okay, this is a really strong proof of alcohol, and for extracting plants, it's really good. In a lot of ways, as it breaks down the plant, it allows the properties of the plant to kind of seep out and become porous, so that they can be absorbed by the oil. So what you'll need is equal or lesser amounts of the grain alcohol to the amount of herbs that you have in your container. Now obviously, if you look at my herbs, they're not all the same size. They're all the same amounts, but they're not the same size, because hibiscus weighs more than calendula flower does. The flowers in the calendula plant are really, really kind of delicate, and a lot of flowers make up a good amount of weight. So your variants are going to be different. So what you want to do is you want to measure out approximately whatever the amount of your herb is in grain alcohol, and then you're going to begin to pour a little bit at a time into your herbs, and you want to mix them up while you're doing this. You don't want to oversaturate the herbs. So if you look at this is pretty not super saturated, but they're moist. So they're definitely moist. They can move it around, but they're not like sticking to the glass kind of thing. So, but they're moist. So that's what you want to do, is you want to create a moist herb. Alright, and sometimes it'll take the whole amount of that's equal to the herb, and sometimes it'll take less. So like for my my hibiscus, I obviously don't want to use the half ounce of the 190 proof because that would have saturated the crap out of my plant, and I didn't want to do that. So I put enough in there just to moisten it up, and I mixed and I made sure that it was quite moist in the process. And then once you have done that, you'll want to, in my case I used some glasses because I ran out of my jars, and I need to get more jars, and when I went to go get jars there was none in the store, so I was like, fuck it. So I bought some glasses. So I put them in glasses, and then I cover them with some saran wrap on the top of them, and then I put them in a space down here below my counter where it's dark and cool and the sun isn't going to be bugging my plants. So that brings us to this morning. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to do all 5 of these, I'm going to do like one, and I'm going to show you the process of how this works. So today I have my little food processor blender thing. I bought this at Walmart for like 10 bucks. It was super cheap and easy, and I really just need something to mix it for a long period of time. So this process is quick and easy, and it takes about 5 minutes. So what you'll want to do is to get yourself one of these, okay? Measure out your oil, whatever oil you're using. I am using MCT oil, or fractionated coconut oil, because it absorbs really nicely into the skin. And I'm also going to be using this in making a couple of products when I'm done with my plant. So what you'll want to do here is measure out the amount that you need for your second part. So if you have, in my case I have a half ounce, I'm using 4 ounces instead of 8 ounces. So that's half of the second part required, which is half of the herb. So, you know, you'll get used to it with your math and whatnot. You'll figure that out along the way. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the herb that I have in this container. Oh, it smells so good. I'm going to pour it into my food processor thing. Okay, you want to get all the herb out there. It's a little bit moist, you know. It's got that little hint of grain alcohol in your herb, and you know that your herb is ready to be extracted. The sitting period time for the herb itself after you've put your alcohol in it is approximately 24 hours or 24 hours. You know, be on the safe side. Try to go 24 hours. Try not to go too much longer than that. So you'll add your herb into your little machine, and then you'll pour your oil on top of it. Okay. So I've got my oil in there. Five years later. Are we good now? I'm going to have my oils and my herb in this container. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the top to this. I think there's a locking mechanism, but I'm new to this one, so give me a minute to figure it out, and I shall be on my way. Aha! Locking mechanism. So then you're going to mix this for 5 minutes. So you grab up your phone, and you will set your timer for 5 minutes. And go. So what you're doing here is you're basically extracting whatever was in the plant that was broken open by the Everclear or the grain alcohol, and you're throwing it into the oil. And this is, it will help to extract more color. It'll help to extract more properties. Your oils will be stronger. And the process takes 2 days. It's so much better than waiting 8 weeks. So I thought this was freaking amazing. And I thought that it would be great for me to share with you guys how this works. So I'm literally just going to sit here and hold this for 5 minutes. So. new machine. Hey, the little cheap ones, they leak. Okay, so my timer's ready. My stuff is done. And that is all you need to do for this method. So what I'm going to do now is after I clean up the outside of this, I'm going to go ahead and strain it. Now that my oil is all mixed up from my blender, I'm going to go ahead and strain out my oil. To do this, I'm going to grab a cup, my strainer. I'll probably use one of the other cups to kind of set it up. And then I have some cheesecloth that I'm going to open up and put over the top. I'm going to double it up like this. Now I use the strainer because it kind of gives me like a foundational place to put my to pour my herbs in. I haven't poured with this machine before, so see how it works. And there you have it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful hibiscus oil. Okay, so you'll take your remaining oil from your satchel. Squeeze as much out as you can get. From your remaining herbs. Okay. And there you have it. Hibiscus oil, strained and ready for use. I hope you guys found this helpful and try it out at home.